For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time. There's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The Senate has approved a massive foreign aid package, ending a months-long stalemate and deepening America's commitment to Ukraine in its war with Russia. Alex Miller and Mike Glenn report the bill passed by the House last weekend easily cruised through the upper chamber on a 79-18 vote. The legislation includes $61 billion for Ukraine, $23 billion for Israel, and $9 billion for the Pacific region, specifically Taiwan, to combat Chinese aggression. The Pentagon says the pipeline for weapons to Ukraine could open within days after President Biden's signature on the legislation. Also attached to the package are sanctions against Iran, Russia, and China, as well as a provision requiring TikTok's parent company ByteDance to divest ownership of the social media app within a year or be banned in the United States. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers continues to focus on the salvage operation of the collapsed Key Bridge in Baltimore and is pushing to clear a channel for idling freighters that have been waiting for weeks to access the city's port. Matt Delaney reports the structure's remnants still tower over the Patapsco River. Maryland Governor Wes Moore said a temporary channel to access the port is slated to open later this week. Larger vessels will use the temporary channel created just north of the container ship Dolly, the Sri Lanka-bound freighter that authorities said lost power and destroyed the bridge by ramming into a support beam. Officials hope to have the 50-foot deep main channel reopened by the end of May. The remains of two men who were working on the bridge at the time of its collapse are still missing. Pro-Palestinian demonstrations and encampments have grown nationwide despite college administrators' efforts to turn down the temperature. Valerie Richardson reports the center of the latest unrest is New York. Police arrested 133 demonstrators Monday at New York University, and Gaza solidarity encampments have sprung up at a dozen universities, including Columbia, Yale, and MIT. Pressure has mounted to restore order and protect Jewish students on college campuses. Those behind the encampments are campaigning to persuade universities to divest from Israel and companies doing business with Israel. The Supreme Court will take up former President Trump's absolute immunity defense this week, and a favorable ruling could nullify many of the criminal charges against him. Alex Sawyer and Stephen Dinan report Trump has asked the court to dismiss a federal indictment accusing him of a conspiracy to subvert the 2020 election. He argues that a president must be free from fear of legal jeopardy for official acts. A narrow ruling sending the election interference case back to lower courts to decide what constitutes an official act could delay trials, pushing the issue beyond the November election. And finally, the Biden administration is moving to rebrand the government's immigration law detectives, saying Homeland Security Investigations does far more than pursue immigration cases. Stephen Dinan reports the rebrand began with a new address, hsi.gov, which is hosted as part of the primary dhs.gov site instead of with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Although it remains part of ICE, HSI says it wants to be known for its power to pursue cases including drugs, gangs, sex trafficking, and counterfeit goods. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
Ever tried reading while jogging, cooking, or even juggling flaming torches? Yeah, it doesn't end well. But with audiobooks.com, you can conquer books without the circus act. Dive into over 450,000 titles, including more than 10,000 free ones. Get hooked on a bestseller, find your next obsession, or finally read that classic you've been avoiding since high school. And here's the inside scoop. Sign up today for a free 30-day trial and snag your first 3 audiobooks on the house. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. That's audiobooks.com/podcast FREE.